This episode's gonna be about healthy eating, and I'll see you after the intro. And why healthy eating? Because I believe and I think, and I guess this is also just somehow scientifically proven or scientifically underlined as well. At my point of view, just eating healthy and having a healthy diet is just something that's very important. Not only for your health, but I think also for your in general well-being, because I kind of believe, and this is something that I've been talking about just a lot, I guess, in especially recent episodes of the podcast, that at least in my point of view, healthy eating or unhealthy eating is something that is just not good for the short term and also not good for the long term. So, for example, today is actually the best example that I have. Today I was eating out with my family, so actually with my mother and my little sister. And we've been in a place, I don't know if there's actually this place. I don't know if this place is actually somewhere else in other bigger cities as well. So that I do not talk about it. Is it also there? Yeah, so we've been at Vapiano, which is actually also in New York. Seems to be the case. Yeah, it actually is. So I've been at Vapiano. For me, it was a great experience because I actually like to eat there because I'm able to just, get other noodles there or other pasta there. Normally when you're eating out or you're eating in restaurants or when you just, buying food, you most often get some wheat pasta. And I just, really, in terms of the bread, I really just maybe it is just abnormally, I don't know. I really just focus on not eating any wheat bread. I'm just rather eating, and I actually do not know what it is called. Rye. It is RWE. I think it's rye bread. Which I don't know is actually common in just other countries, but in Austria it is pretty common that you get rye bread and then rye pasta as well. And it's actually one of the you do not get rye pasta, but you get I'm very sorry. Spelt pasta. It is SPELT. Yes, SPELT. You get spelt pasta there, which is actually the only reason why I go there. The thing is, the whole kind of pricing is, the portions are I think they are just normal, I guess. Maybe they're even a little bit bigger than normal. But for me, because I'm eating just a fucking load, it is quite just, a little bit too less, I would say. It could be a little bit more for me at least. But, I'm normally eating just some pasta with some tomato sauce or al arrabbiata. If you know it, it's just, tomato sauce and it is fucking hot, which is something that I like. I don't know if actually eating just a lot of spicy food or, with chili and whatever, if this is actually very healthy or not. I do not know this. I'm just somehow educated in this whole nutritional kind of thing. But I'm really not a nutritionist or something like this. But something you definitely just have to look for is feeling good when you're eating something. And I often feel like, and this is actually also the reason why I do believe that eating junk food and eating bad food is actually just bad for the short term and for the long term, is that most often if you're just eating just some junk food, of course it tastes super great, which is actually also a point in the article that I'm going to talk about later. But the thing is, afterwards you just feel very filled and you feel also very bad because you've just eaten something bad and maybe you've just been on a diet or something. Could also be a factor. But normally you just feel bad because it's just really filling and it is just so heavy in your stomach. And this is actually the case, or this was the case for me today actually, because besides me eating my pasta, I've also eaten the rice or the risotto, if it is called like this, I don't know. Risotto. of my sister, and there was so much oil on it. At first I thought like, it's just only olive oil and it will be fine, and it tastes great and whatsoever. But in the end, it was just really, really kind of heavy in my fucking stomach. So it wasn't quite nice. And the thing is, back in the days where I've just been eating quite normal, unfortunately, I have to say, well, I just always felt that way after my schnitzel or after eating just some other kind of traditional food that we here just eat, And now, in the time where I'm just eating pretty healthy, I would say, I'm never ever having this feeling. I always just feel really great after eating. I could always just run around. I could run a fucking marathon after I'm eating. Maybe not just a marathon, but I could just run around, but if you just really are filled and whatsoever, you cannot run around. But yeah, quite a little introduction to the topic that we're going to talk about today, which is actually based on a James Clear, there you can see it actually, James Clear article. Why again a James Clear article? Because I find they're just truly, truly great. They're really amazing. I really believe they're written pretty well, and there is just also great information there. You also have your footnotes, your sources, so everything is fine there. It is Healthy Eating, the beginner's guide on how to eat healthy and stick to it. I do not know if I am going to go through the whole one or just bits of it. It is something, and it would actually be nice. It would actually really be nice, because this is something that I'm truly passionate about, and something that I believe is very important, not only for me, but actually for all the people around there. But so healthy eating, it's something everyone knows they should do, but few of us do it as consistently as we would like. The purpose of this guide is to share practical strategies for how to eat healthy and break down the science of why we often fail to do so. Because actually a lot of people fail to do so. For me, it's actually gotten a habit. I would say it's really a habit for me, and I would really feel so incredibly bad. Also physically, but also mentally. If I'm eating something unhealthy, I would really feel bad. Honestly bad. Like bad. Really fucking, bad. Never mind. Now, I don't claim to have a perfect diet, but my research and writing on behavioral psychology and habit formation has helped me develop a few simple strategies for building and strengthening a healthy eating habit without much effort or thought. So, because I was just speaking about behavioral psychology, yesterday in a podcast while I was working out that I've been listening to from Seth Godin and Tim Ferriss, that I've also been talking about in yesterday's episode of the podcast, Seth Godin was also talking about cognitive behavior therapy. I think the shortcut for it actually is CBT. I guess I'm not quite sure. And he said that he also went there because of some things that he was struggling with, or I don't know. And there was also a kid that always was washing his hands. I think it was a boy. He was also washing his hands, and I don't know if I've understood it correctly, but I guess his skin was really fucking dry and really kind of just fucked up because of the fact that he was just really washing his hands all the fucking time. And he went to this CBT therapist for 3 times, and then he never ever did this fucking shit again. And I found that amazing. I unfortunately didn't have the time, or I've actually also forgotten it, to look that up. And but I hope that I'm able to just give you more information, more knowledge, and more kind of value on this certain topic, maybe tomorrow, but in the future, definitely. So you can click the links below to jump to a particular section. So there is the section 1, the science of eating healthy, which includes why we crave junk food and how food scientists create cravings. The second is how to make healthy eating easier. I'm not going to read the subheadlines there. And the third one is how to stick to a healthy eating habit. And I think we're just actually going to start with the first one. So the science of healthy eating. Every nutritionist and diet guru talks about what to eat instead of what he would like to discuss, which is why we eat the way we do and how we can change that. So the purpose of this guide is to share the science and strategy you need to get the results you want. Now, the benefits of good nutrition are fairly obvious to most of us. And this is actually one of the reasons, or one of the things, or actually reasons why I kind of feel like why then so less people actually have this practice of healthy eating. Why just so many people do not eat healthy? Well, of course, junk food tastes good. It's also something that I'm hopefully going to talk about today. But it really is the case. If you're eating healthy, you're gonna feel way better. You're going to be able to perform way better. You're just way healthier. You're not gonna be as sick you're not gonna be as sick as often as you are now. Is this English? I don't fucking know. Never mind. Never freaking mind. But yeah, so you have more energy, you feel your health improves, and your productivity blossoms. Healthy eating also plays a huge role in maintaining a healthy weight, which makes sense. Which means a decreased risk of type C diabetes, certain cancers, heart problems, high blood pressure, and a host of other health ailments. What are ailments? Ailments. What the fuck? This is just a really tough one for me. An illness, typically a minor one. The doctor diagnosed a common stomach ailment. Genetics also plays a significant role. I'm not some crazy person who thinks genes don't matter. They really matter. If it's about bodybuilding, which is actually one of the kind of areas where genetics just really matters a lot. Like, you can see, the thing is, I actually think that those people that have just great genetics also have it, not that easy in the whole bodybuilding space, because everybody wins. Everybody just believes that they're, taking some steroids or taking some other drugs, but they don't. They just have very good genetics, and they're really blessed with very good genetics. But if there is so many good reasons for healthy eating, why is it so difficult to actually do it? Great question. So to answer this question, we should start by learning why we crave junk food, which is actually the first one that he's going to talk about, which was actually also kind of the reason why I've started to go through this, or why I was willing to go through this, because it is very interesting. It is really very interesting. So before we talk about how to get started, let's pause for just a second. If you're enjoying this article on healthy eating, then you will probably find my other writing on performance and human behavior useful. Each week I share self-improvement tips based on proven scientific research through my free email newsletter. This would actually be a great way to actually give you a lot more content and or this could be actually a way so that you can get more content and you can get more information just besides my shit. But I could also use this to just give you a lot more kind of information, a lot more things, a lot more stuff, a lot more something. So to join it, there's some kind of field where you can type in your email address. And yeah, I think it is just actually the case. Not only there, there might be a link very down on the bottom of the whole thing. So yeah, I think you do just have not to search for it pretty long. But the next one is why we crave junk food. Actually a very interesting one. I do just have to drink something. I'm sorry. And maybe I should also slow it down a little bit and not be so energetic is actually good, but maybe I think you can also be just way too energetic and way too fast and way too something. So yeah, why we crave junk food. Stephen Witherly is a food scientist who has spent the last 20 years studying what makes certain foods more addictive than others. Definitely what I'm now thinking about is sugar. Why sugar? Because sugar is actually, I think, if I remember correctly, 8 times more addictive than cocaine. And, you might know just a little bit about cocaine, but cocaine is fucking addictive. Like, I don't know, certain people talk about certain drugs as, okay, if you just once take it, you're just going to be addicted to it your whole life long. You're not going to be able to kind of withstand this whole kind of craving for actually getting your drugs and whatsoever. I don't believe in this. I think it was actually about meth or something. For sure, it's a really strong drug and it's a really addictive drug as well as cocaine is. But sugar is as well. It's just very, very addictive. And I think you can also see this, actually withstanding the craving of, or the crave of eating another bar of chocolate. If you've eaten one of it, well, it is just really something that people could struggle with, I guess. And also I have struggled with, where I struggle with this kind of issue or with this kind of problem is by eating fruits, actually. If I'm eating fucking one grape or something, the thing actually is, I do not know if grape actually are the whole kind of just bunch of it, the whole kind of just thing of it, or if it's one grape. I don't know. But I'm just talking about one grape, so one kind of fruit piece. You know what I mean? You definitely know what I mean. But if I'm eating one of them, like, I cannot fucking stop. Like, for sure, when I'm just filled or when I do just feel like, okay, I do just have to kind of leave something for other people in my family, I'm gonna stop. Like, it's not something that I'm so addicted to, but I just clearly see that when I'm starting to eat something like this, when I'm start to eat some fruits, especially those that are really sweet and that I really like, chances are pretty high that I'm going to eat a bunch of them and not only one of them. So yeah, which could also be an issue for some people, because eating too many fruits actually is not as good as a lot of people. Some food scientists I have not been in charge of, but I have had something to do with. Actually, we're talking about fruits as like, okay, you can just eat all the fruits that are in your home and you can just always eat fruits. It's no problem and whatsoever. But something that I recognize and something that I notice is that when I'm eating a bunch of fruits or when I'm eating a lot of fruits, my body fat percentage is going up a little bit. I'm seeing this. I'm not as lean as I could be when I'm not eating as much carbs as I would. Yeah. If this was actually a proper sentence, I don't know. Maybe this is actually something that other people also recognize, but that for sure is a reason why those bodybuilding enthusiasts or those health enthusiasts, or bodybuilding, not actually in terms of bodybuilding as a sport, but actually building your body. So whether it be actual bodybuilding or just weightlifting or calisthenics or whatever it will be, those people will maybe know. And those people will notice. And I guess I've noticed. Maybe it's just some placebo thing. Maybe it's just something that I kind of think about. But yeah, why we crave junk food. Much of the science that follows this is from his excellent report, Why Humans Like Junk Food. And is it actually this one? No? Because I've actually opened it as well. Yeah, you can see there. It is actually 208 pages long, and this whole thing is a report. Why we like gourmet coffee and ice blended shakes. Very interesting, really interesting. If I had the time, I would, I think, go through that. Why we like popcorn. Let's actually see. Popcorn has vanished caloric density, pleasure without satiety. Popcorn aroma is resistant to extinction. Popcorn melts down quickly in the mouth, high dynamic contrast, and popcorn is an excellent excuse to eat butter, a pleasure emulsion. I'm gonna get this. Emulsion or emulsion. Emulsion. Is it actually how you pronounce it? It is spelled EMULSION. Okay, I can't even spell. But yeah, it is definitely a really big one. So according to Witherly, when you eat tasty foods, there are two factors that make the experience pleasurable. Because I've just read a little bit of it, I'm just going to scroll up pretty quickly before you actually read something. parts of it why we actually like junk food that much is sweet things like sugar, because there's a lot of fucking sugar in junk food, and salt. But that's not really a lot, and so we're gonna go through it. So first there is the sensation of eating the food. This includes what it tastes like, salty, sweet. What is umami? Umami. A category of taste in food besides sweet, sour, salt, and bitter, corresponding to the flavor of glutamates, especially monosodium glutamate. There's actually no German translation, and it comes from a Japanese word. Seems to be the case, at least in German. What it smells like and how it feels in your mouth. This last quality, known as oro sensation, can be particularly important. And I've been thinking about this, and as I was reading it, the whole kind of how it feels in your mouth thing could actually be very, very important. You might know the fact when you you might know the situation when you're eating some bread, and the crust of the bread is just really spiky and really kind of tough and hard and whatsoever, and you're biting into this certain thing, you're biting into this bread or whatever it will be, and it somehow stings you, or it just kind of hurts you in your mouth. It's not something nice, and it's not a lot of pleasure to eat something like this. If it's not nice to eat as well as fish, I would say. If you're eating some fresh fish, with all the not bones, but I don't know what they're called actually. It is actually bones, fish bones. It is actually fish bones, yeah. I didn't know that. And I haven't thought so, actually. So when you're eating just some fresh fish, and also the fish bones are in the fish, so they're not taken out or something, and you do always have to see that you do not eat them, that you're not gonna just kind of that you're not dying off of them or from them or whatsoever. You know what I mean. It's not such a pleasure to eat certain things like this. Which is actually something that's pretty tough to say, especially if you kind of think about some people that do not have anything to eat, and I complain about some fish not being just that pleasurable to eat, or not that nice to eat, or something like this. It's just fucked up, really fucked up. Food companies will spend millions of dollars to discover the most satisfying level of crunch in a potato chip. Food scientists will test for the perfect amount of fizzle in a soda. These elements all combine to create the sensation that your brains associate with a particular food or drink. Well, because we know that now, wouldn't it then make sense that you also put these certain factors into your healthy food? Like, I've been thinking about eating some bread. I often eat bread in the evening, or, just as a dinner or something. I'm not eating some warm stuff. Like, a lot of people do that. I'm only eating some warm things in, it's noon, I guess, for lunch actually. But in the evening, I'm either eating some porridge or some oatmeal, or I'm just eating some bread with some tomato concentrate or some tomato sauce and some oil or something like this. I'm just making some healthy breads for myself. And something that I notice is that when I'm putting some is it leches? Is it? Or some salad leaves, actually. Never mind, I thought about something differently. I guess if I put some salad leaves into my sandwich or into my bread, let's say sandwich, then it just tastes better. This could actually be because of the fact that if you just bite into your bread, into your sandwich, it makes the sound. It makes the sound of the lettuce or whatever it will be, the lettuce just breaking down or something. Maybe it is just so satisfying that you just somehow think that it tastes nice, or that you want to just eat more of it. The second factor is the actual macronutrition makeup of the food, the blend of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates that it contains. In the case of junk food, food manufacturers are looking for a perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat. Okay, I've left out fat, I'm sorry. That excites your brain and gets you coming back for more. So here's how they do it. How food scientists create cravings. The thing is, it is so long, and I would actually like to go through it as one thing. I don't want to just go through a bit of it now and then in another episode, some other things of it, or the other part of it. But I would actually go through the first one. I'm going through the first one. So there is a range of factors that scientists and food manufacturers use to make food more addictive, which somehow, besides the whole fact, that it is the case that it is addictive, people actually try to make it addictive. Well, it's like, it's quite tough, and I think this would actually be one of the things that would stop me from actually having a big company, I guess. Just having to know, or just knowing that I'm doing something that might hurt somebody, that I'm actually making a product, because of course they're doing it because they want to make as much money as they can from those people who are actually consuming their stuff. But it would just not be in my morals or in my ethics or whatsoever, that I'm just making something so addictive that is actually also bad for the people. If it's something good, if it's something that's keeping the people happy and or healthy as well, and it is addictive, then of course it is good. But if it is bad and addictive, and I'm making it, and then I'm just making a lot of people sick, because they actually cannot somehow withstand the craving of eating that, I don't think that this is just the best feeling you can have. Of course, there are a lot of ways you can think about those certain things. You can talk and think about it as, okay, you're doing something bad because, you're making the people sick and unhealthy, even though they could just not eat the fucking shit. The thing is, if all the consumers would stop eating potato chips, or crisps actually, or if they would stop just eating fries and burgers from McDonald's or whatsoever, they wouldn't produce it any longer. They would not produce it. But people just eat it. We as a consumer actually have a lot of power. We do have, because those companies, these very big corporations, are going to satisfy us, or trying to satisfy us, just as good as they can. It's the case. And if we don't know to eat just those unhealthy piece of crap, they're gonna make some healthy shit. They clearly will. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through the first one pretty quickly. Dynamic contrast. Dynamic contrast refers to a combination of different sensations in the same food. In the words of Witherly, foods with dynamic contrast have an edible shell that goes crunch followed by something soft, or creamy and full of taste-active compounds. This rule applies to a variety of our favorite food structures. The caramelized top of a creme brulee, a slice of pizza, or an Oreo cookie. The brain finds crunching through something like this very novel and thrilling. Yeah, I've really read that not that nice. But this is actually the end of the episode. Unfortunately, those 2 episodes that I've actually just been recording one after another have been just truly amazing. Have just been really great, and I've been feeling pretty great while doing them, and I've been just really fast, and I'm actually gonna eat something afterwards, and I'm really happy that I'm eating something. It's actually always something that I'm looking forward to, and everyone needs something to look forward to. It's actually really important. But yeah, I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself how you're going to be remembered. So basically your legacy. How many people are going to be on your funeral, is somehow decided by that to some degree. So yeah, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, thank you a lot from the bottom of my fucking heart, and I'll see you the next time.